Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 3, The Door of Hope. The episode begins with Reiner's mother speaking to him. The propaganda and overall brainwashing start from an early age. Reiner is told that they were abandoned, obviously by the Eldians that occupy Paradis. He's told that he's actually half Marleyan, but they can't live as one happy family because they are Eldians. Reiner's primary goal in life is influenced by his mother. He knows that they can achieve Marleyan status if he becomes a warrior. That's always been his goal, to become a warrior to improve his mother's life. Then we get Reiner in the present, laying on that same bed, reminiscing about his past, how he trained hard for that goal. Unfortunately, the anime here in this scene specifically didn't fully showcase how far behind Reiner was to Annie, Bertolt, Marcel, and Porco. During this scene, he's not able to keep up with his friends, but it's fine. We can't have every detail from the manga included in the anime, and that idea that Reiner is inferior to his comrades is formulated well later on. A young Zeke speaks to the warrior candidates and reveals that 6 of them will become warriors. Reiner is happy to know that he's on track to accomplishing his goal, but Porco is quick to enlighten him that he's the worst candidate. Reiner doesn't have any strong characteristics, besides his undying loyalty to Marley. It's similar to Eren in that they weren't gifted with great talent from a young age. They had to struggle and work hard for everything. This is the second time in this season that we can make a comparison to Eren, the first time being Gabi, and now we have Reiner. Eren too was seen as inferior and lacking in skills during their time at the training corps. Just like how Eren wants to slaughter all the Titans so that his people can be free, both Reiner and Gabi at a young age showed a desire to slaughter all of the inhabitants of Paradis for the benefit of their people. Reiner and Porco argue, and Porco ends up striking him. I find it funny how Zeke just watches and then eventually just walks away as if this is nothing new. Marcel stops Porco from engaging any further and then apologizes to Reiner. Marcel displays his leadership qualities here by placating his brother, as well as by not showing favoritism by apologizing to Reiner. Originally, the goal for Reiner was to reunite his family by becoming a warrior and thus an honorary Marleyan. He had a picturesque idea of the future with his mom and dad living happily together, although Reiner knows that he's the worst, and the likelihood for him not to be chosen as a warrior is high. Bertolt is a true bro and has some comforting words for Reiner. He asks Annie for confirmation, but she was too busy zoned out stomping on a bug. Yeah, that was kinda weird. Reiner's goal is to become a hero, to save the world and make his parents proud. As if the hinting to compare Reiner and Eren in this episode wasn't enough. Just as we find out what Reiner's dream in life is, we get the preceding scene to what sparks Eren's dream: freedom. Armin is about to show him how vast the world is beyond the walls, thus causing Eren to desire freedom, to see the ocean and the different areas of the world. And the only way to accomplish that is to slaughter all of the Titans. We get this cool introduction of each of the characters and the explanation as to which Titan power they will be given. The higher-ups are so confident in these warriors that they think they may even surpass their predecessors, which we as the viewers know nothing about. But even Magath is unsure about sending children to recapture the founding Titan. Well, they showed their power and capabilities clearly enough in the clips of them in their Titan forms, so it makes sense why the Marleyan military had confidence in them to accomplish the mission. Porco can't believe that he wasn't chosen, and Marcel has to calm his brother down again, and once again apologizes to Reiner, but this time Reiner's a little confused about this. The new warriors are paraded around town before their departure, and Reiner sees his mother. She sheds tears of joy, and Reiner does the same. Then he sees his father. We get a flashback of him finding his father, but he wants nothing to do with Reiner and his mom. For Reiner, this is where that picturesque future of a reunited family dies. That has gone out of the window, and his only motivation is to make his mother's life easier. He wants to save the world, and even if he is fatherless, he was still chosen to be the armored Titan. He feels he has earned it. Bertolt shows his doubts about whether the king will remain peaceful, but Reiner is steadfast with his belief in Marleyan information. His loyalty is undying. He doesn't show any doubts. Even Marcel is a little uneasy about what they will do the next day to the people within the walls, or so we think. Reiner tries to ensure his comrades that they're doing the right thing, but Marcel is uneasy because he knows the truth about Reiner's situation. Marcel purposely made sure that his brother would not be chosen to be the armored Titan. The one thing that Reiner had going for him, the fact that he was chosen to be the armored Titan because of his own merit, was a lie. It was only caused by Marcel. Reiner now knows he is definitely the worst out of all the child soldiers. Reiner is confused as to why Marcel is apologizing. Why would Reiner be upset about becoming a hero? But this is the difference in their thinking. To Marcel, he knows what they have to do. They're going to murder a bunch of people they don't even know. They only have a maximum of 13 years to live. Just at that moment, the sun has risen and thus provided energy for Ymir's Titan to rise from the earth. Marcel saves Reiner and Ymir obtains the power of the Jaw Titan. I never understood why Marcel didn't just become a Titan right after he pushed Reiner away. I mean, in a life or death situation, wouldn't you instinctively go into Titan form? Or would him entering Titan form cause him to end up killing Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt through the transformation? I honestly have no idea. The 3 remaining warriors reunite after fleeing from the Titan. They were told there wouldn't be Titans this far out, but that information was false. This should cause Reiner to have doubts about how much the Marleyan Empire knows. If they're wrong about this, what's to say they're not wrong about Parody? What if they're not devils? Annie wants to return back to Marley because without Marcel's leadership, their mission is doomed. Reiner knows what will happen if they go back. It's not just the possibility that he'll be fed to the next warrior candidate, but that all 3 of them will, as a punishment for this colossal failure. Reiner gets a good stomping from Annie and she reveals that her mentality is different from Reiner's. She knows that both Marleyans and Eldians only think for themselves. They are all liars. This is a mature perspective to have at such a young age. But she's no different. She wants to protect her family, and she wants to survive. Annie and Bertolt will be spared if Reiner took the blame. The attack on Shiganshina begins. Bertolt is in close proximity to Dina Fritz in her Titan form, but he isn't attacked by her. Her sole purpose is to find Grisha Jaeger. That's what she said before she was turned into a Titan. She couldn't find Grisha, so I guess she did the next best thing. Eat his wife? Reiner already has survivor's guilt. He feels worthless because he knows he isn't on the same level as Marcel. The mental anguish deepens. Annie wakes up within Walrose and we get a quick shot from across the room. There's the other trio, Mikasa, Armin, and Eren. I find it funny in this information for public disclosure that the Eldians are called devils, but they are essential for the defense of Marley. So they can't be complete devils then, right? Since they play a pivotal role in Marley's defense? Even in disguise playing his role as a regular inhabitant of Parody, Reiner's main goal stays the same. He wants to save the world. We learned that the backstory Reiner and Bertolt told to the others was rooted from the story told to them by the man that abandoned his family and later committed suicide. While doing some searching around the area, Annie is discovered by Kenny. He doesn't buy her little made-up story. It's not easier to trick a man like him. Her kicks be strong as hell though. She broke a brick wall in just her human form. The trio meet up in the evening, and Annie knows she can't move around as freely now because Kenny has seen her. She's tired and wants to go back to Marley, but Reiner still feels they haven't done enough. He says they have to destroy Walrose. This would result in a lot of his friends dying, but Reiner still refers to them as devils. This is a coping mechanism. He's doing this to justify his actions, and we know later on that it doesn't last for long. Eren struggles with the ODM gear, and he expresses his desire to be more like Reiner and Mikasa. Reiner gets a flashback of himself when he was younger about having the same feelings of inferiority. Him and Eren are a lot similar than we initially thought in Season 1. Reiner tells him that he's gotta do what he's gotta do. Keep moving forward. A lot of support and companionship being displayed to a devil, huh? The scene itself proves Reiner's lie to be a coping mechanism. He's just being too nice. There's no way that's an act. He genuinely cares. At least a little. He can't help but become friends with his new comrades, even though it's all an act. I love the contrast between this scene and the next scene, with the hope and desire to keep pushing forward in the scene with Reiner and Eren, to the despair and lack of will to live in the scene with Reiner pointing the gun into his mouth, ready to commit suicide. Right as he's about to pull the trigger, Falco bangs on the wall outside, which stops Reiner from pulling the trigger. He looks out and sees Falco and is reminded that he does have a purpose. He has to keep living for the sake of those 4 kids. Falco passes the hospital and is called upon by the long-haired man that he comforted in the last episode. He said he's lying about his trauma, he just doesn't want to go home. Falco says he won't snitch on him. He ain't no snitch, and relents that he won't be chosen to be a warrior. The man knows right away that the other candidate is a girl. As Falco describes Gabby, we get the first partial look at the man's eye. As if it wasn't obvious enough who this was with the voice, it's becoming even more apparent who this man is. The same ambitious eyes that I compared Gabby's eyes to. It's Eren Jaeger. Instead of furthering the conversation about Gabby, Eren discusses war. Soldiers lose their freedom, become damaged, lose themselves. All of these consequences to warfare should cause people to avoid it, but people are pushed by something to march towards hell under no fault of their own. That something is their situation and or other people. Society as a whole. That something is more powerful than the individual, or at least is more influential. But there are certain people that push themselves towards hell, and in doing so they see a different kind of hell. Something beyond hell. Perhaps it is hope, or it could be another hell. Only those who keep moving forward will ever know. Going off of how Reiner was telling Eren to keep pushing because that's all they can do, Eren has been pushing himself the whole series. He's not pushed by others or his situation. He could have easily just taken the safe route and stayed within the walls, but he decided to push himself. The initial goal being to find hope, the ocean, freedom. But now with impending conflict and warfare, we don't know what lies beyond hell. Will it be freedom and hope, or will it be a deeper, more sinister hell? Only time will tell. This is probably one of my favorite endings to an episode of Attack on Titan. In the next episode, the festival is approaching and a surprise awaits for Reiner. Thanks again for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean a lot and it helps me out tremendously. Check me out on Twitter and Twitch as well. Links are in the description. I'm live every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Hope to see you there. Let me know what you thought of the episode. And as always, I'll see you on the flip side.